guys! In this video I'm going to show you my blueberry nuts, most of them, I've taken some of them down, how easy they are to take on and off, explain why I use the nuts, and show you what the blueberries look like underneath. Okay, so these are some of my blueberry nuts, and I bought more this year. I've bought some over the past 3 years, so it's been a gradual process, but originally we decided to put bird netting up, and you can kind of see the wires going over the top of my blueberry patch. That was a birthday gift for me one year, and it cost around $600 total to put the main bird netting up. The problem with that is that it worked great for birds. You can see it also, we have it like wrapped up on that pole there for now. We do need to cover that with black plastic again, just so it doesn't get UV damage from UV light. The problem with that is that we have had a huge problem with Japanese beetles over the years, and they would just get on the bushes and completely defoliate some of them and just ruin the berries. And I think part of that was because the plants were struggling because the pH was too high. And since then I've started putting sulfuric acid on them. Not just elemental sulfur, just because the elemental sulfur that I added for a few years was not enough. I measured the pH last year and it was a 6, which is way too high for blueberry. So that's probably part of the reason why they were more susceptible to the beetles. But in the middle of the one summer, I just had enough and decided to order the nuts. So I will do a quick walkthrough and show you my whole patch. I have a bunch of bushes that I planted in 2013, so 11 years ago. These larger ones are some of them. And then I've replaced some that have died with smaller ones in the past few years. So there's all of those ones down there, and I've already taken some of the nuts off. Like, once I finish picking the berries off, I take them off. And the berries have been ripening early this year, so most of the nuts were like this one right here. I bought a few nuts in the beginning that were $17, and then they went on sale for $10, and I think it's because they were just going out of stock. But so right now most of them have a cord running along a pocket in the bottom. So I cinch that, and then to loosen, I just kind of pull it loose. And then I grab the top, and because this mesh is so thin, it doesn't catch on the leaves or the branches like bird netting would, which is really nice because that can be very annoying. Then I slowly drag it off. Sometimes it will get hung up a little bit and you just need to give it a little bit of a tug. So I pull it off like this, and you can see already like the berries are so nice underneath. I haven't had trouble with the light getting through or anything like that. The only issue is that the weight of the nut sometimes well, it usually does cause the branches to be a little wonky and like pushed down, but I don't think that makes a huge difference. This variety is called Chandler, and it is one of my favorite varieties. It's the largest, it was the largest commercial blueberry, like blueberry variety available for home purchase back when I bought them. And they are originally these bushes are from Nurse Farms, which is one of my favorite berry suppliers. So these ones are just not as big. Like the first berries of the year are usually the biggest ones, but these are such a good size berry, and I love the flavor, and my kids love it too. So anyway, yeah, it's just so nice to pull off the nut and have amazing berries underneath. Occasionally I will get caterpillars underneath. One of the bushes, one of my small little bushes this year was defoliated by some kind of caterpillar, and then one other one we found a bunch of caterpillars on when we were picking the blueberries, and that one was Daytana moth caterpillars. They looked very strange. I'll try to find a picture that I took of one. They kind of looked like they were doing yoga on the blueberry bush. And I told my kids, like, don't touch them at first because we need to figure out what kind of caterpillar these are. So I did look it up, and they aren't, they don't usually cause you to have a reaction or anything. So we picked them all off, and the other bush that was defoliated, I never really saw what was causing the defoliation. I'm assuming it was a caterpillar. We've also had some other polyphemus moth caterpillars really love to eat blueberries, and it is a really neat moth. But I found a couple on the plants some years, and I usually just remove them, and I think I did not save those ones, even though we have tried to save them before, just because it's one of the largest moths in Pennsylvania, and it's just a neat moth. But you know, when they completely defoliate a blueberry plant, it's hard to justify saving them when it's, you know, taking your food away. So yeah, I might just show you a few different kinds of nets I have still, and then be done. So that net that I just took off is one of the $10 nets that I bought, and then I cut along. Some of them I joined together, so like those ones actually cost $20. So I'll show you two of those. I sewed them together, and then it made just like one big net. Okay, so this is one of the original nets that I bought that is a solitary net, just to give you the idea of the size. This is another one that I just left as is. These 3 bushes here, this one's a Chandler, and then these 2 are Jersey. You can see on this one there's a seam there. That's where I sewed 2 of the original $10 nets together. So just to make them bigger and fit over these larger bushes. Maybe once I get the peach and these plants healthy enough and big enough that it doesn't matter if some of the beetles destroy some, I will switch back to the bird netting and try that. But there's also spotted winged Drosophila, SWD, that really affects blueberries later in the season and just turns them mushy, and then you get the little maggots in them. So I might not even go back to the bird netting in the end. I might just try to switch my overhead enclosure to bird netting, or not bird netting, insect netting, possibly, if most of these nets don't fit again in the future. So I will link these nets, but the original ones, these larger ones that were $10 originally on sale, aren't available anymore. I also have this kind of little net, and I can link these too. These are smaller nets, and they have green string at the bottom. And I can't remember off the top of my head how much each of these was. I think it was like a 2-pack for $14 or something like that. But I like these because the netting material, you can see the birds started poking it, but it's been pretty strong and held up really well. And then I also have, is this one of the cheaper ones? Yeah, I got some cheaper nets last year, and this material, you can kind of tell it lets the light through, like it's just thinner. These have not held up as well, and I would not recommend them. So I will link those in the description too. So this year I have a bunch of these nets down here that I bought again this year. I think I spent another $180 on netting because I felt it was justified with the amount of blueberries that were on these ones. Some of these are from that bulk order I did, and I will show you. It's the same general principle. I just loosen the bottom, This variety I think is called Bonus, so I've been happy with the ones that we've had so far. So yeah, just pull it off and then you can pick the berries. These ones are pretty good. I think flavor-wise, I like them a lot. I might prefer the Chandler, but sometimes it's hard to get a full picture of flavor and stuff until the bush is older. I feel like some of the younger bushes, the size and the flavor changes as they get more established. But yeah, these are great. Okay, so I hope that quick video helps give you a general idea of how I use the insect netting bags on my blueberries, why I like them so much. They're really not that hard. They don't take that much time to take on and off as much as I thought they would be a pain, possibly, off the bushes and put them back on. Comparing that to the big overhead netting, that is like a big chunk of time up front and a big chunk of time on the back side. And you really need more than one person to do it. Whereas these little nets, I think it maybe took 3 or 4 hours total for me to put all of these nets on my around 100 blueberries. I don't actually know how many nets I had this year. I didn't have nets for all the blueberries because I've been trying to do it over, you know, add more nets when I felt it was justified against the cost. Yeah, so maybe 3 or 4 hours total, but that was over a couple days. You know, I'd bring a couple nets out when we came out, put them on, and it's just a lot more doable if you're a person working in your patch or on your homestead on your own mostly, and you don't want to use your significant other's time to dedicate to putting the larger nets up. And it's also easier to do it like earlier when you see that they're ripening, which was earlier this year, and not wait for a huge chunk of time that you have available to put the whole net up. So those are all the benefits, and I'm really happy that we're getting a lot of blueberries this year. It's been a lot of time and money and expense, which I love spending time out here in the orchard, but it's nice to finally see rewards from that time. So yeah, the nets are definitely something that I would recommend. I hope you guys are having a great summer of growing. Bye, and like and subscribe if you like this kind of content. I have one more thing to add, and that is this huge net that I bought this year. And I splurged on this net. I bought this net, one large net, and some of the, I think 2 for $14 or whatever, I'll link, of the other nets with the green drawstring bottoms. So we've had 2 raccoons get stuck in this net, so that was hard on it. And then you also can see there are some bird holes in it already, and the seams are starting to come apart. It's just not as thick as I would have liked this material to be for how much it cost. It cost $30, and this is one of my favorite blueberry varieties. It's the only variety I have of this bush, even though I've tried to start starts of it. It is called now I'm blanking on the name. Maybe Nelson. I don't think that's right. No, I will link it in the bottom. But it's just a really nice, healthy bush. The berries are delicious. It produces a lot of berries. And I've tried to propagate it and was successful, but then I did not bring them in when it frosted the one night. So anyway, this net is just huge, and it has a zipper on the one side, and it also has a drawstring. So everything is great about it except the thickness of the netting. I wish they had used thicker netting, and I mean, for $30 you kind of expect a little bit more quality than what I got. But and also the raccoons knocked down about 2 gallons plus worth of berries and really bent the branches and kind of caused havoc in here. So Anyway, I thought I would just add that. Sometimes it's not worth spending more money on something. I have one more final thought to add, and I need to start making an outline or something for the videos just so I make sure to cover all the points that I want to cover. But another option that I am considering in the future is Oesco, O-E-S-C-O, is where I got my original like bird netting. And I like their quality of netting. They also have rolls of insect netting. So in the future, what I might do is either buy that netting, their insect netting, to cover my whole enclosure, or if I still decide to do the individual bird netting and I need larger nets, I may just buy the netting and then make my own, which I like to sew, and it's just finding the time to do it. But I might go that route eventually if I need bigger nets that are more quality than, you know, spending $30 on one that I'm not happy with the quality. So yeah, that's one final thought. Bye guys.